Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Tech Life Weekly. And we are always excited because we know we're going to find out some interesting information. We're going to have Dr. Tachi in the house today from Mediascope. We're looking forward to hearing from Terry Johnson online everywhere, all the way from New York City. So we've got Florida and New York in the house. And we are on the West Coast here in Sacramento, California, bringing you information about technology today that will help you do business better and run a profitable business that's fun to run while taking the hassle out of your hustle. So sit back and relax. Let's get our pencils and papers ready so that we can grasp all of these nuggets. You know, we always like to start out with history. We've got my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva in the house. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the conversation. How you doing this morning, Fran?
I am doing really well. Hey, Dr. Tachi. All right. Hey. So this week in tech history, I'm just going to go through the week. What's today? Is the 7th, the 8th?
Today is the 9th, isn't it? No, it's the 8th. Okay.
It's the 8th, and we take away 7. That leaves 1. Anyway, I'm going to start because I did some of these already, but I'm going to do this one. April 3rd, 1966, the Soviet space probe Luna 10 becomes the first spacecraft to orbit around the moon. It was launched by the USSR from an Earth orbiting platform on March 31st, 1966. Luna 10's battery will operate for 460 lunar orbits before deactivating as planned on May 30th, 1966.
Wow.
Okay. The first cell phone call, April 3rd, 1973, Martin Cooper makes the first cell phone call on a New York City street. Some consider him the father of the cellular.
Did he have one of those brick phones?
It was a brick.
It was a satellite phone. Okay.
It was a brick. And that dude was heavy because I had one. I should have kept it for demonstration purpose. That thing it was dangerous.
You could have probably rented it out as a movie prop too.
Now, see,
I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know that was possible, Dr. Tachi.
Yeah, because they need them for period pieces. Yeah. Oh, one way to repurpose your no longer in use items.
And a stream of income.
Yes.
She did say rent it.
Yes. You don't get to keep it. Microsoft was formed April 4th, 1975. Microsoft is founded as a partnership between Bill Gates, age 19. I said 19. Paul Allen, age 22, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The company is founded to develop BASIC for the MITS Altair 8800. MITS is headquartered in Albuquerque, so Gates and Allen moved there from Boston to launch their company. Eventually, they decide to move Microsoft to the Seattle, Washington area, where both men were from originally and met in high school.
Good morning, Vonda. Vonda's watching. How you doing?
Good morning.
It's so good to see you this morning.
Netscape was born April 4th, 1994. Ironically, 19 years to the day after Microsoft was formed, Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark create the Mosaic Communications Corporation, which will later be renamed Netscape Communications Corporation. Andreessen has developed the Mosaic web browser while working at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the University of Illinois. So I know I'm meddling now, but if he was using that equipment to develop his thing, What is that? Is there an issue there?
Uh, okay.
Rabbit hole we may not want to travel, because he said while he was
No, I don't
working,
think so.
so hopefully he was at home. Anyway, April 6, 1992, Microsoft releases Windows 3.1, which was actually one of their better
Products.
releases. Priced at $149, selling 3 million copies over the next 2 months. Windows 3.1 added multimedia extensions, allowing support for sound cards, MIDI, and CD audio. Super VGA 800 by 600 monitors. Boy, we've come a long way. And increased the speed of modem it would support to 9600 BPS. For many that were into computers back in the day, it was the first version of Windows that they actually used, as the previous versions were still gaining consumer acceptance, and Windows 95 wasn't released until 3 years later.
Mm.
Okay, so now this April 7th, 1964, IBM launches the System 360 mainframe architecture, which is comprised of 6 compatible models, complete with 40 peripherals. This thing is huge. Up until this time, computer systems, even from the same manufacturer, were generally incompatible with each other. They didn't talk together. Software and peripherals from old systems would not work on the new systems. This stifled acceptance and deployment of new systems, as business customers were hesitant to lose their investment in their current systems. So by them developing a mutually compatible series of mainframes, customers were assured that their investments would not be lost if they purchased further System 360 models. They so it must have paid off, because they received 1.2 billion in orders.
Wow.
It did, clearly.
Yeah. Okay, those are the suits. And the last story for today, April 8th, 1983, John Sculley is named president and CEO of Apple Computer after Steve Jobs convinces him to leave his position as president of PepsiCo. Steve Jobs wanted the position for himself, but then CEO Mark Markula didn't think Jobs was ready to take on that responsibility. Jobs wanted Sculley based on his success at growing Pepsi's market share against Coke. He wanted that same type of marketing success for Apple against IBM. Part of the computer industry lore, Jobs reportedly asked Sculley, "Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world?"
Whoa. Oh my God. Sugar water.
For 200.
That's cold. That was cold-blooded. Okay.
Yeah, so let's see how well that long. Ultimately, Sculley and Jobs entered into a power struggle. Sculley convinced Apple's board of directors to strip Jobs of all power within the company, and Jobs left Apple. One has to wonder how the computer industry would be different today if Steve Jobs had been given lead of his company in '83 instead of Apple opting for adult supervision. Recent history with companies such as Facebook, Google, and even Apple since Jobs' return has shown that visionaries can make great leaders of technology companies. And it's interesting because the person who has the vision needs to be pushing it along, right? Because other people may have ideas about how to grow it, but I've seen where you start something and then you take it public, and then they vote you out.
Yeah.
some people don't come back after that, or the companies did not come back after that.
Mm-hmm.
But that
Okay.
is your week in tech history. So if it's your company, be very mindful of who you have
In charge.
company. Yeah, because not because the lady with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they put her out
Mm-hmm.
too. I
Yep.
was like, "Ooh, wee."
Well, if you don't have everything set up the way it is, that's like with with the Facebook business page. If you don't set yourself as the admin, somebody else's, they can boot you out of your page. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mm.
Well, friend, you're always saying you need the keys to your own house, right?
Right.
You
Even
do.
when you're asking people to build websites for you, set up your social media, you need the keys.
Oh, I have so many client stories about websites and the admin account and admin rights, and
they fall out with the admin, and you
they
cannot
can't
get
get
in your own house.
because they locked you
Oh,
out because they're the admin. You have to be the admin too.
yes,
You need
it's,
to have keys.
it's terrible, terrible.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that's a tech tip right there. Make sure you're an admin on your own site.
All your stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything. Because we tell you to get real estate all over. We tell you
Mhm.
to get your on all your domains or whatever platform, go get your name on all the platforms, but make sure you have access on all the platforms as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Can you call Facebook?
No,
Nope.
most of these places you cannot call.
Because you're not paying.
Well,
When you
the
pay
other thing too is they don't know if you are someone claiming to be the admin.
But when you pay for a service on, let's say, email marketing or website or whatever, when you pay for it, you have
Mhm.
rights to that account. So there's a customer service number. There's live chat support on the website. There's a way
Mhm.
for you to talk to somebody at the company when you are paying.
Mm.
When you're not paying Facebook, who do I call about this? Nobody.
Mm, mm, mm.
There is
Whew.
nothing you can do.
Nothing. So you always put it on. You never put your eggs in all one basket on rented land. Facebook is rented land. TikTok is rented land. Instagram is rented land. Twitter is rented. All of these, unless you're paying, is rented. So think about
Mm.
when you rent a house versus you've owned the
You
house.
know what?
What are the
I
rights?
think about the city of Hershey. Everyone who owns property in the city of Hershey had a 99-year
Your
lease,
lease. Wow.
and I'm sure it's probably up about now.
Mhm. Dr. Tachi was going to weigh in, and then I
Okay.
was going to say something about that owning.
Only your
Go
own
ahead,
real
Dr.
estate.
Tachi.
Yeah, it blows me the amount of people that put their entire business strategy into rented land. It's meaning social media or whatever else the case may be. Now, in some cases, like for example, if you have a brick and mortar, it may not be to your advantage to own that office building or whatever
Right.
if it's not your advantage. So that's a different thing.
Right.
Looking at my mother, the first thing she did. This is an interesting story. My mother owns the building that her business is in, and so she was identified that early. I went to school, the elementary school we went to, the Catholic school, is directly across from that building, and so we used to wait there to take the bus. And my mother was like, "I'd like to own this building." Sure enough, years later she did. So for her, it made sense because to go and rent somewhere else was just going to be too much money, right? And so nobody can kick her out. It's hers. So, it doesn't work for everybody in the real world land scenario, but using that as a metaphor for her, it made more sense to put her business inside something she owned, because then nobody can kick you out,
That's
right?
right. That's right. That's right.
There you go.
Own your own stuff.
Exactly. If you're doing anything online business related, there are some basic things you gotta have. Make sure and I don't know what this is, where and there was a discussion online about businesses using Cash App, and some restaurant that wanted you to put $100 deposit. I think it's some restaurant in Texas. So there was a big discussion about, well, I have to reserve $100 on Cash App so I don't stand in line. I think it's some turkey hut or something. They sell turkey legs, like $100 just to go and get some turkey legs. No, and on Cash App. So it's like, why do you want to do things that way when, as a legitimate business, you should do things where you have to pay the fees? That's some of the things of running a business. You have to do those things. You don't like it. Nobody likes PayPal fees or Stripe fees. Nobody likes it. But you're getting a service from them, so you have to pay them.
It is convenience.
Right.
And it's a write-off too. So stop complaining. You're gonna just write it off as one of your expenses.
But there's some kind of thing about, well, I don't want to pay fees, so send me Cash App. Well, that's not, you're not supposed to use Cash App for business.
Well, they have a business version of Cash App, and I'm gonna tell you this: Cash App is gonna send you a 1099 or something. You will still, because they're gonna report out to the government how much they gave you.
Yes, and and the business Cash App, you have to pay fees, right?
Yep,
there you go. So there's this thing where they're trying to avoid paying fees as a business. Don't do that.
There are fees in business.
Yeah. People, just do the right thing. Yeah. Period. In your personal life,
I'm like,
and in your business,
it's like paying taxes. Nobody likes paying taxes.
You see, Terry, those people are probably not doing the right thing in their personal taxes.
They're not.
So we got y'all in prayer, okay? Do the right thing.
So I'm not gonna run on rant with that.
Taxes.
Okay. And Vonda says, "Good morning, people. Good morning, darling.
Good morning."
Good morning. And Dr. Tachi said they will be on the sick and shut-in list.
And we want y'all to know, as I used to say in the first church, please govern yourself accordingly as the announcements affect you personally.
Yeah, dot your I's and cross your T's so you won't be crying, "Oh, woe is me," later when something happens because you didn't set up the paperwork properly, or you didn't get this, or you didn't get the copyright, or you didn't do that, or those things aren't comfortable, but do them. So down the road, when you're operating as a brand, somebody comes along and does something and you're like, "Oh, I didn't do my legal paperwork, or I didn't do my this, or I didn't do my that."
I was listening to something this week. Business is a skill.
Oh yeah.
It can be learned. No matter what the business is, you're gonna have to learn the skill of business.
Yeah, no shortcut.
There is no shortcut, and you can get better at it. A lot of people is like, "Oh, I don't do the business side."
You can pay somebody whose business it is to help you set up your business, because there's a lot of people that do that.
Right. So you don't have to do it by yourself, and you can learn the skill. Get up close to somebody. You keep making the cookies, but you get up close to somebody and watch how they do it, and to ask questions. Hire a coach.
I'm not good at this. Right.
People love to help people. If they see that you're trying, people will help you. Okay.
Right.
And go to that networking event and ask Susie how she did it.
Right. So in this community, we got a lot of people that can help you do a lot of things. So, if you need to do live stream and broadcast, we got Dr. Tachi, we got Carlos. If you need somebody to help you with book writing, we got ladies that we found that out Monday. There's a lot of people that can help you get your book out. So what's the excuse?
Yeah.
You need to understand social media and how to maneuver through all of that. Ta-da! We got Terry Johnson, online from New York City, to help you do that. There's too much information in this room for you not to be able to take the hassle out of your hustle. You can do this. You got to develop the skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, I
Nice,
have
nice.
a couple. I got a
Okay,
couple of
good.
articles I want to share with you today. I want to talk to you about the fact that uh, 3D printed fingertips
What?
are being made to improve prosthetics. You know how we have these artificial prosthetics coming along? It has a sense of touch like human skin.
Wow.
And so, and so it makes it um what would you call it? More adaptable
Mm-hmm.
so that you
Or
can
it,
do.
what is it? Not biohuman. There's another. I can't remember the word I'm
Let me
thinking
see if
about.
I
What?
can show this to you. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, where they have, and it's not
So do you
as
put? Do they go on your fingertips, or they go on
they go
a
on a
Android robot or something?
they go on a prosthetic hand right
Oh,
now.
okay. Okay.
It says the University of Bristol said the development could significantly improve prosthetic hands. Researchers found a new fingertip is able to produce artificial nerve signals
Okay.
that mimic those of humans, so that it can be,
Wow.
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
S-
Right. So
So it
so
can
they can feel the
activate your nerve endings. Yeah. Researchers
because
found a new fingertip was able to produce artificial nerve signals that
Mm-hmm.
mimic those of humans. Eventually, they hope to make artificial skin that is indistinguishable from the real skin. I know that's okay. Let me read this because I know that probably took you somewhere, Francine.
no,
Okay,
I'm
our
good.
work helps uncover how the complex internal structure of human skin creates our human sense of touch. The researchers created the sense of touch in the artificial fingertip using a 3D printed mesh of tiny pin like bumps, similar to those found in the human skin. Now, it's not as effective as human skin because it's thick right now, but they are
Mm-hmm.
working to combine cells and materials so that it is more sensitive.
I wonder if they could use this for like burn patients, like
I'm
for.
Well, they
thinking
have
so.
something else that they're using for burn patients. They are
Mm-hmm.
actually creating ears and noses that are printed using 3D human cells, and also to create um, skin to
And
cells to eliminate facial scarring and things of those natures. And that is through a university. Where's this university? Oh, hold on a minute. Ears and noses to be created using human cells. Patients in Wales could be among the first in the world to receive pioneering treatment, which uses human cells to eliminate facial scarring.
Okay.
hmm If successful, it could be used in the future to treat people with. Are you ready with it about this? Listen to this. Born without body parts or who have facial scarring because of burns, trauma, or cancer. Victims of scarring say the development could be life changing. And they've already used it on a 6-year-old girl. So, 6-year-old Elizabeth, um, who's a patron of the Scar Free Foundation, she suffered burns in a fire when she was 6 months old, and she lost some of her fingers and an ear, and her painful scarring requires daily treatment, and
Okay.
they are finding that they were able to help her with the loss of her ear during the fire. And I think this is another reason why they are working so hard on these sensory
Mm-hmm.
items for fingertips, so that if you have been burned, they can restore that sense of touch, because she's saying that right now it's hard for her to open things and things of that nature. The little 6-year-old who had the
mhm.
fire at 6 months. So and then they have a testimonial here from a woman who had to have part of her ear removed because of cancer, and the fact that this 3D printing could possibly replace her ear, she says is life changing.
So I
Okay.
see that they are using the powers for good.
Yes, you see what I mean? And I, I know this is a concern
Well,
that this
no, but it is if they could just continue doing things using it for the power of good,
hmm
then
I know.
we're all for it. But
Well, you know,
there are always the others,
the wonderfulness of it all.
right? So, thank you.
Oh, okay. Take
You
your
got
time.
another story? Because I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have one more story that I want to share. And that is, I want to say congratulations. Let me share the screen. We are all excited about this. And I hope y'all can see this. Michelle
Oh,
Obama is congratulating Kataji Brown Jackson. She was actually, um, what do you call it?
confirmed.
Approved.
Confirmed.
Thank you. She joined
Yeah.
the court. She was confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we're all excited about it. And so, I just want. I'm just saying this is a
Big.
game changer
Yes.
for young women in
About
America,
time.
for America, period. And we're excited.
About time.
All right.
About
Well,
time.
Absolutely.
I,
Oof.
yeah. So I'm excited. So I just
Nice.
wanted to share that with everybody.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh, TJ has been talking to us about our parental, sometimes the Instagram and TikTok and Snap are being called to the carpet for parental,
Controlling.
having third party parental control. So TJ, I found an article that I think um, may be of interest. It's
Yeah.
called "What is Bark?" It's a social monitoring app.
Okay.
It says children shouldn't be left unsupervised online, but how can you monitor them effectively? So this is called Bark, and parents with teenagers, uh,
BART.
BARK, like a bark.
Oh, bark. Okay.
Yeah. It's a parental social monitoring app. It has parental control features that allow parents to provide safety for their children online. These control features include content monitoring, website blocking, screen time management, and location sharing. um, the app must be installed on both of the parents' and the child's devices to function.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, because TJ was like, okay, because some of the other people were like, well, you got to ask your child to.
Yeah, Instagram had to put in the feature, but you have to ask your child to allow you. No, that's not how it works.
Well, if
Mm-mm.
are
The other
you
way
the admin? No, go ahead.
around.
So
I like this because I'm looking at the website. They have a managed screen time, which if you have a child that's in the gaming and all of the platforms have it. And I think I told the story where I set it for my daughter on the weekend, and she was in the middle of the game and the thing shut off. So I was like, okay, maybe I won't do it on the weekends, but I like that you could set I
the
hope it
screen
works that way where if you're on TikTok too long, it shuts it off. Like
So
closes it.
it says Bark's monitoring feature allows parents to follow their children's online activity and receive potential alerts on concerns such as bullying, self harm, depression, online predators, grooming children,
Mm-hmm.
violent threats, and general threats to safety. Bark also monitors texts, emails, videos, photos, and various apps. The social monitoring app does not give parents access to all of their children's messages. Instead,
Mhm.
it alerts parents on any concerning content detected. If an issue is detected in a text message on a child's device, the parent will receive an alert based on the context of the specific text instead of viewing every single message.
Okay.
Mm.
Because
I
then
thought this
yeah.
was
Yeah, unfortunately, there's been a lot of with children missing and things happening to them. They always trace it back to they were private messaging or sending messages back and forth with the predator, and the
Mm-hmm.
parents didn't know anything about it. So
Right. And so
Yes.
that's why there is location
mhm.
alerts. The
Mhm.
location sharing tool allows parents to keep track of their children's whereabouts. The app sends an alert as soon as the child arrives or leaves a location that has been on the app. The app also has a check-in feature where children can confirm their arrival at a location by tapping the check-in button on the device. When a parent might be worried about their child's whereabouts, parents can also send a request on the app for the child to check in.
Right.
However, when the location sharing feature is enabled, the parents will receive a notification as soon as the child arrives at a location. For this feature to work, the child's device must either be connected to Wi-Fi or cellular data. In addition, they must enable location services on their device.
Right.
So I think this is, I'm not sure if there's any other, but I mean, this one seemed like, oh,
Well,
There's an app, the Life 360 app, but it doesn't do everything that Bart does. The Life 360 is just well the free because it's free. You just have the location like on a map. Like when they get this, like you can set the school location, and when they get to school, you get a message saying, your child has arrived at school. But it doesn't
yes,
do all the things that it does. Like this Bark seems to look at the text messages and the websites and everything like that, which is pretty cool.
and probably
right. And
has some
so,
keywords to trigger. Yeah.
And
yes,
then for those who may, you're not parents, you don't understand why they might want this. Think about working mothers or single mothers or single parents who, they have to go to work and their kid is pretty much have to go to school or do whatever or come home or what. The latchkey kid. So now this is the 2022 version of the latchkey kid where the parent doesn't have to really worry about, okay, where's my child.
yes,
So that's what this is for.
right.
Because
And
it seems kind of like why you want to track your kid. It seems it to a non-parent it may seem like that. That's what I'm saying. Like if you
Really?
don't have kids.
well, I think it's a good idea to track, to figure out where they are. You can't
Yeah,
track other people, but I see this being used to really, and I don't see why we couldn't use this for an elderly
yeah, you
person that's
could.
at
Yeah,
risk.
yeah.
You know
That
what I
that is
mean?
a really good thing, Fran. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah, because I
Mm-hmm.
Um,
get because I sign up for we get alerts here in New York City about missing, people, and it's usually elderly, and they'll say they're elderly and they're, they have, a condition and they're not aware, and then they put out an alert. So
right, and we get text message for that too here. So when they're at risk,
right,
um, but the parents now have something to put in their arsenal to
right,
help keep their children safe.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because
okay, that's
it's
all I.
something we got to do in this day and time. So
Right. Okay, Dr. Terry Johnson online, you are up.
all right, all
Wow.
right,
We're both moving her at the same time. Did you see that, Fran?
that's
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so this week in social media news, I want to start with something new since we're talking about new apps. There's a new app called Peanut,
Mm,
and I want to show it to you, and I'm
okay.
going to talk about it for Clubhouse. So I want to bring it up so we can see. I was like, wow, there's an app called Peanut, and I want to show you here what it is: a safe space for women to meet and find support. Connect with women who are at a similar stage in life from fertility, pregnancy, and motherhood through the menopause. So it's like it's a community for women. And that's what it says. Peanut provides access to a community who are there to listen, share information, and offer valuable advice on different life stages. So I didn't
Mm,
know about this app, and I was like, oh, because I saw in the update that they've added a pro level to this. Oh, let me scroll back up. I want to so you can see there. So what happened? This app Peanut has added a level called Peanut Pro. Where's my note? Okay, where's my note? Peanut Pro. So
Mm-hmm.
this was founded in 2017. Peanut is an online community that is designed to connect women through all stages of their life. The app has more than 2.5 million Users. Peanut provides access to a community of women who are part of the network to share information and offer advice. So now they've added a Peanut Pro expansion to give women access to information from trusted experts. So they've connected with experts from its network. They're saying doulas, psychologists, therapists, sex coaches, and sleep consultants. So they're also allowing a tipping feature. So when you connect with an expert on here, that you'll be able to tip them for giving you advice or helping you with something or a problem. So I haven't looked at this app. I just saw this update today. I was like, well, what the heck is the Peanut app? So I looked at it. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I did download the app, and then there you can connect to people nearby. And it's when I say people, I'll say women. And then you go in the app, you set it up, and then it says, okay, this person is near you. Do you want to connect with them and talk or whatever on the app or text or whatever? So I just started looking at it. So I was like, this was interesting.
Kind of like Next Door for women.
Right. So and this is, this is where things are going now with social media. Communities.
Yes.
Communities around a topic, or in this case, a safe space for women. Now, I don't know if they're, kicking men out. I mean, but I don't know any man that will want to join, but I don't see anything where they're kicking you out. They also have something called pods, and that's like it's like a Clubhouse feature. I gotta somebody's knocking on my door. Hold on just a second.
So how dare they? Yeah, people were calling us at 8 o'clock. I was like,
exactly at 8 o'clock. It's like, we're on the air.
So apparently they did not, or they didn't recognize. But what do you all think about this?
I think this is really interesting. I wonder if Linus knows about this, because Linus' whole business is around women over 40 and menopausal women, and I wonder if
that's our community.
Yeah. So
they have a place for her to connect with these folks. So I'm interested in this because I'm thinking, if you are a caregiver, can you be a part of this community? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on my phone now, because when I go in, it says these are people that are women that are active and nearby, and if I want to talk to them, to start a conversation, I just swipe up, and then I haven't completed my profile, so it won't let me go through. But let's see, there's a live tab. And that's the Clubhouse section where it looks like the tab for pods. It looks like Clubhouse where there's the little squares and it says what's coming up. So it says they have something about bottles, top 3 healthcare, setting boundaries, prenatal, boosting your confidence, all things toddlerhood, spiritual self-care, baby teasing, healing different topics. So if I wanted to look at one, it's April 11th at 7, I guess I just tap it and then set a reminder.
Okay, so that you can listen in on that conversation.
Yeah, so this is Monday. This is set for April 11th. How to change up, level your life in the next 3 months. Join Amity, a certified hypnotherapist, women's transformation expert, for a journey on how you can radically change your life in the next 3 months. So and then they've got topics: real care, self-care, relationships, work and money. And it looks like Clubhouse in here, that tab.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a feed. I haven't there's a lot to set up, so I haven't finished setting up the app. So it says finish setting up your experience, explore relevant groups, select meaningful topics, discover helpful advice. And then it shows me all the live pods that are going on.
Yes, so you got share pods. So pods is the Clubhouse thing. Look, right?
They call it pods. And then there's a section where I have connections, and then the main feed where I can go through, and my profile isn't complete, so it's not letting me. But you can go through, I guess, and have conversation on different topics that women are talking about. There's a live section going on. There's a clubhouse section where audio groups are meeting and having clubhouse style conversations.
Nice.
Wow.
Dr. Chachi, you were going to weigh in?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm looking at it on my computer, not on my phone. So just to make sure, it is the same. It says it's like a little, I guess, an avatar of a peanut, and then peanut is underneath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it says a safe space for women.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So I think this is really interesting because these types of topics are often so not talked about, let's say, and they're kind of taboo. They're not talked about in wider society. The thing that I really like about this is that when you look at the website, they also have pods, which are the live audio conversations, which is great.
Yes.
So in addition to groups that you can join and meeting people nearby who are interested in similar things, you can ask questions and get advice, and then it is like a clubhouse and more for these types of issues. So I think this is fantastic.
Right. You know what this reminds me of, TJ?
What?
Blab.
Really? Yeah.
It looks like Blab.
Yeah, so here it says discover women nearby, join groups and find communities, share, ask questions, get advice, and the pods. So they're adding how I found this is that they're adding a pro feature on, so you'll be able to talk to a professional, and then that person providing you a service. And I'm pretty sure Peanut will vet these people, say if they're psychologists or whatever, they have, they're gonna have a process where they're the real deal. But you can, like Dr. Tati said, is talk about taboo topics where you might not talk about. And this, you would say, well, I can do that on Clubhouse, but Clubhouse is like everybody. This is a specific community where social media. This is where social media is heading, where it's a specific group of people. This case, women talking about women's issues, or it could be topical, where it's going to be just about that topic.
Yeah, because TJ is predicting again. TJ predicts. She predicted Facebook and all of them gathering together and becoming one. And now she's predicting again that the community is key. I have seen so many communities popping up, community apps. I'm like, man, there's more and more community apps, and where you want to gather, and they're gathering you away from the traditional Facebook group.
Right.
And they're, people are gathering off of.
Right. And this is not new. It's been coming for a while, because like you said, the next door or the Nextdoor app, is that what
the Nextdoor? Yes.
Nextdoor. And then, but you have to see also with, say, take for instance Facebook. Facebook has groups and things, but there's a lot of people that don't want to use Facebook, or they can't find you in that whole world.
It's gotten so complicated. Yeah.
Right. So this Peanut is like, okay, it's for women, and they talk about this, and this. And then there's all these tools in there to help you connect locally with women and have a meetup or a conversation or this and that, and also professionals. And it's all closed in, like, I didn't know about it. I just was, doing my research for the week. I was like, Peanut, what the heck is that? And discovered it.
Right. And it takes you out of the jungle and put you on your own island.
And it makes, and like Dr. Tati said, it's a safe space. It's a space where you feel safer to talk about a topic because there's other women. It's not, okay, it's everybody.
Right.
Yes.
Where somebody might chime in a conversation and say something that okay, you don't know anything about it. Why are you coming in and wrecking the conversation? Just, people like to do that. So you want to
go ahead, Dr. Tati.
Well, I wanted to say that I could actually see this becoming bigger than just this app that connects women across different planes. I see this as, this could even turn into some type of network. And by that, I mean podcast network. They could include live streaming, because this could be the default place that women who have shows that speak to these interests could put their content there. So I see this. I think this is cool, and I'm kind of excited about it because I see the promise for bigger than what it is right now.
Right.
Yes.
I agree. Because they could connect with women who host podcasts. That the discovery thing, because that's what I talked about this week, was the discoverability factor is not online anymore. When I was mentioning Blab, that was we got discovered, but no other app has that kind of features. It's pretty much, well, you got to promote yourself, or you got to, bring people from this, if you're on Instagram, you got to bring people from TikTok, from different places. So I was really excited to discover it, and you're right. So think about this application on other industries.
Right.
Right. And then if you remember Google Plus, this was kind of like what Google Plus was supposed to be, because it was topical.
Right.
But it was everybody, so it didn't really work.
Yep, because I remember Google Plus. You could have great conversations with people, and on various types of things on the topics you were interested in. But then
you followed people that because I followed a lot of people that I discovered on Google Plus. I'm still following because they're talking about SEO, they're talking about live streaming, they're talking about being an author. They talk whatever it is. It was topical, which wasn't done at that time. And I remember people were making fun of Google Plus. Oh, it's not going to last. It doesn't. It didn't. But I was like, there's a potential for something there where it's not just friends and family you're following. You're following interest based.
Exactly. And when you go into Twitter, they try to tell you, okay, pick topics you're interested in. I was like, well, don't leave me alone. So I want to pick when I want to go. I don't want just to step to me.
But see, people go to Twitter. They don't go to Twitter for communities. I mean, there's a community factor. I mean, because there's tech Twitter, journalism Twitter, Black Twitter, this Twitter, that. But that kind of just it evolved on its own. Twitter's trying to herd people in the communities, and I don't think that's going to work. I think
to herd them.
Yeah, they're trying to herd. Like, get over there. Like, when you go into the Twitter communities, they're like, oh, I don't think that's going to work for everybody.
Cattle rustling, stop it. Okay.
So that's it. That's the new app, Peanut. Check it out. I thought it was exciting. I'm glad that everybody saw the value in that. All right, so Spotify. Let's go on to them. Spotify expands access to its discovery feed. You know, that podcasting option that we're going to have that looks like TikTok, where it has the For You page. So they're formally launching a beta test that helps you find new things to listen to, podcasts or songs, through a vertical customized feed. So they're going to have a dedicated podcast button, and takes you into the vertical feed where you'll see the show's cover, the podcast show's cover art, while the clip plays. And I think we talked about this, was it last week or the week before? We talked about this recently. So they're expanding the beta test. It's going to Australia, Canada, Ireland, and New Zealand, and the UK, but not us yet. So those are the countries that have it. So they're promising. There's the discoverability factor of your podcast. How do you get your podcast discovered? So Spotify is trying to help you with that. So go ahead.
They own Anchor. I have seen on our podcast, we got people from all over the world listening to it. I'm like, how did they even find
Anchor,
it?
From like you said, Anchor getting bought by Spotify, buying Anchor. The discoverability factor. That's it.
Right.
That's it. Because if it's having a podcast and not having, that's one of those one of those tools that you use online where you have to bring the community from somewhere else, like on YouTube, or you're on Twitter, like, oh, come on over to my podcast, and then you put a clip and a link to the podcast from Twitter. So you kind of bringing people over, and Spotify is saying, okay, we're going to help you with that discoverability, getting new people to listen to your podcast, which helps you. All right, so they're not saying when we're gonna get it. I hope soon, but those are the countries that have it. So yeah. All right, let's move on to Twitter. Since let me go to Snapchat. Now Snapchat has a couple of things. Snapchat has a lens that helps you learn the American Sign Language alphabet.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so they're putting this in, so you'll learn how to finger spell your name using individual letters, but you now also get to practice the ASL alphabet and play 2 games to test your knowledge. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
I
you
think
know,
that is really good because,
mhm.
I've always wanted to learn a second language. Why
Mm-hmm.
not let it be sign
Sign
language?
language.
Right,
And okay, because there are other countries, kids are learning 4 or 5 languages.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to take a look in here and see. So it says you can find the lens by looking for ASL alphabet in the Lens Explorer. So,
Hmm.
oh, I just took a picture of my mic.
So
All
all of
right,
you who, you can see there again, there's something we encourage you on Friday is play day. Get in there, pull out your phone if you can, and see what's happening in Snapchat and see if you can.
right. And there's so many lenses in here. I was trying to find it. I got Chase Bank and all kind of New York City things in here. So I'll look for that JetBlue.
Oh,
Wow.
so
Okay,
they
I just got distracted. Like,
see.
ah. So that it's in the Lens Explorer, which is when you go into, finding the little things that you put on your face, you have to scroll through. It's in there somewhere. I was just trying to
Okay.
find it.
Boy,
All right,
people
so
trying to hijack you when you get in there.
it's fun. Snapchat is fun. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. You go in there, just got distracted by, oh, okay.
Carlos has a comment. He said, I want to invent a holographic automatic closed captioning so when we speak it appears in front of us in real life. Ah,
Okay.
Ooh.
like it pops out in front.
Like Minority Report,
Yes.
where the
It's
thing, the
sort of
screen
just
goes
in the
there,
air.
and
Yes.
you're just,
It's floating in the air. Somebody said something to me yesterday or the day before, like when somebody is talking, that like a hologram can actually pop up
mm-hmm.
and talk to you, kind of like on Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where the
and the little thing
person,
twirls and stuff. I was
who
like,
was
huh.
talking, what did they put something in, who was it in R2D2, and she,
Yeah, and you
all of
click
that,
it,
yeah.
and it talks to you. I was like, okay, we're okay.
They've been working on that for a while. We talked about that several years ago. That
And I'm thinking
holograms
it's
are going to be a thing.
like the AR because it's the
Mm-hmm.
AR technology is already in our phones. So
Right.
we can pull stuff into your phone or you can see it through your phones like the little Pokemon where you looking through the lens of your phone and you can see Pokemon standing next to that fountain over there or
Yes.
whatever.
Right.
And so that's
That was pretty cool.
right.
All right, so one more thing for Snapchat. Snapchat has published a 2022 Snapchat generation report with key insights into user engagement. So if you're curious or you want to know about user engagement in Snapchat, and it goes into how they're using the app to connect, how brands can better align, and how you as a business can better align your messaging around the trends. So they have insights from over 19,000 Snapchat users across 16 markets. And I have a little, we can take a look at it here
Okay.
just for a sec. Oh, what happened to me?
I see you.
You're
There
there.
you go.
Oh, there I go. I didn't see
Mhm.
you. I had
Okay.
a
I think
different
it was
layout.
full. I don't know what
Yeah, at
happened.
the bottom. All right, so this is
Oh, that's a new little thing that we.
yeah, I just
Mhm.
saw that. I was like, what is that?
Okay.
Sorry, Clubhouse. We're in StreamYard clicking on buttons, and I'm like, I didn't see anybody but me. So let me scroll through here. So there's an introduction. It's a PDF. I'll put the link in. So this is insights into the Snapchat generation. And there was a slide here. Here, this is what I wanted to find. Snapchat is the #1 platform where people enjoy sharing what life is actually like or random funny moments. People feel free to be themselves. And I wanted to mention this because we were just talking about the community, the peanut community. So
Yes.
Mhm.
now Snapchat is moving into this niche where there is intimate sharing among personal groups, being a private group and having the social media aspect of it that's the public view, but it's private. So Snapchat is going that way. And also I found this there's a new study I'm going to talk about from Piper Sandler. They have they do an annual semi-annual every 6 months taking stock with teens survey. So they're saying now TikTok and Snap are the two most popular social networks among today's teens, with Instagram coming in third. So that's why I talk about Snapchat a lot, because it's like it's not on everybody's radar, but it is on Gen Z's radar. So
I
if
know
that's
my
your audience,
grandson, that's his platform of choice.
yeah,
And he's
yeah,
15, going on 16. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. And
yes. I thought that
then
was interesting.
Carlos has a couple of comments
Okay,
about that.
let's get the
He's talking about the
Carlos.
glasses. He says, so glasses that show words into our eyes. And then about Snap, he says, Snapchat never shows me what life is like.
It's because you have to be in a group of people, Carlos, not
Right.
just you solo. That was the whole point why I'm bringing it up. That's where the use is.
Because that's a
what
whole
you do.
community too, right?
Right. Just like I was talking about the Peanut, which that is, you get the app, you join, and really it didn't even, I don't even see like a roadblock for stopping a man from joining. I didn't see that. It was just asking me your date of birth, your name, email, and blah blah blah. So I mean, I just find that part of it interesting. All right, so that's Snapchat. There's a link for the PDF. I will put that in the chat in a minute. I just thought that was pretty good. So let's go to Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go to Twitter. Twitter's been in the news this week because Elon Musk,
our friend,
Elon Musk, the person that the whole world likes to follow, and they just whenever he does something, he has a 9.2% stake in Twitter. So he bought that into this week that came out.
Wait, 10. So he got less than 10% stake in Twitter,
right?
But it gives him the majority.
Yes,
That was a very pointed thing to do. I think he did that for a reason. 9.2 was for a reason.
What's the theory? Let's hear
it. Dr. Kathy?
Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was asking what was the reason. What was her take?
Specifically.
Does anybody know why Elon Musk does what he does? We don't know why. We just know he has a reason for doing it. And it's probably a numbers thing. I bet you it has something to do with the number 9.5.
Oh, I know what you talk. Yeah, he has this kind of odd thing about. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, he has Asperger's. So often people with that condition have these little things so I bet you 9.2 was for a reason.
Because remember, he has a new baby coming or something, but the kid that was born a few years ago has some kind of weird
X.
What is some kind of weird mathematical equation?
X.
No, it's more than X.
Okay, I don't.
That's the short version of it.
Okay.
It's some weird mathematical equation that the kid is named, but they call him X because you can't.
Along with it.
But you can't call him by the equation, so they call him X. I don't know. Then it's like Dr. Tati says, who knows why? But because of that news, so now I think he tweeted out something about an edit button, about now the edit button is coming.
Okay.
Now Twitter has confirmed after he tweeted that the edit button is coming, but not because of Elon Musk. They have been working on it.
Yeah, right.
They got that. Anyway.
Okay, so you know what my take is?
What?
He bought them and said put it in. Because he
has the majority vote. So what they gonna say? No?
Because they've been working on it. But again, remember, Twitter has Twitter Blue. They're trying to put everything in the Twitter Blue. So when they release this edit button, it's going to be Twitter Blue. So you have to pay the subscription to have it.
Well, the point is, we've been asking for it for a long time. We probably, edit button should be like standard. This is not brain surgery. We misspelled a word. Oh, oops, I need to edit that. What is the deal?
Well, Carlos says the models of cars that Elon has spell sexy, and that was his motivation to make cars. Okay, whatever, Carlos. Thank you so much.
And while we're talking about Elon Musk, this is his son's name. I put it in the. Let me see if I can.
I see it.
That's the name. That's the kid's name.
Okay. I saw it. Shaquita and them had a problem.
See, but nobody will say anything when it's Elon Musk and that pi squared numbers for the name. But you let the name start with SHA and there's all kinds of problems. We see you.
Yes.
We see you.
Exactly.
Right. So Twitter has announced that they're for real working on the edit button. They're planning to test it in the coming months. They're saying that it goes back to Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey back in 2020 or back whenever he was against the edit button, and there are people bringing up the argument against, because what if somebody like 45, is it 45? I can't remember that orange dude, the guy, when he was on Twitter saying all the things, and then as president, your communications, everything is logged in the Library of Congress. He could go back and change it if there was an edit button, or people like that.
Well, but I think the technology is such that it could be there, but the original would still be there. You know what I mean? Because that stuff never goes away. There's a log of some kind. Oh, this is the edited version.
No, Twitter has a log because everything's run on the server. It depends on how many servers they have, how many backups they do, whatever. But I'm saying the public face of it. Somebody could say something awful, and it will get retweeted, and that person goes back and edit the original. So here is the current CEO. He says, without things like time limits, controls, and transparency about what has been edited, edit could be misused to alter the record of the public conversation. Protecting the integrity of that public conversation is our top priority when we approach this work. So they're keeping that in the forefront of, you want an edit button, that they're probably going to give it to you. They're testing it, but you're going to have to pay for that privilege. It's going to be under Twitter Blue.
And then they put, like, whenever you do something, I've done something and it says edited. Right. It says it in there so that we know this is not the original thing that was typed there at first. Right. This is not on Twitter, by the way. This is just on some other stuff that I've seen when I'm in another app and I'm working on
because Facebook has that where you can go edit messages, edit comments, and stuff like that.
And it says edited while it tells you that
even on like Discord, when there's a message, if you go and change it, it's just edited.
Right, that's where it was, Discord.
So that's the deal. The Twitter edit feature is going to be behind a paywall. So if that's something you want, shell out the $2.99 a month, and you'll have it.
Or you just look janky because you forgot to spell something right, and it's just not going to stay there.
Just delete the mess. Just delete the tweet and put a new one out.
Right, but okay.
So those that want it, open your wallet. You'll have it. I plan on closing my wallet. My wallet will be closed.
And so I would say then that you write out your tweet on your notes feature, so that and then copy it and paste it over there. So in case you have to delete it, you don't have to remember what you said and go back and get it again.
Right. Or you could use a social media management tool that connects all of your social media, and you just, post from in there, and then you have, tools that help you. But all right, we're not going to get off of, on that tangent.
We're not edit on a Twitter.
The edit button is coming. If you want it, pay $2.99, or they might up the price to $3.99. They might up the price on you. Just get ready to pay if that's something you desire. I don't. So now Twitter is also testing an unmentioned feature. This is an unmentioned. It enables users to remove themselves from conversations if they no longer feel comfortable being involved. Now, I have to explain this if you don't understand what the unmentioned does. Um, when if you respond to somebody on Twitter, there's a tag where it tags the person that wrote the original tweet and you. So then someone can come into the thread and respond to you and them. And then if it's something that you don't want to be a part of, every time if somebody responds to that reply, you get tagged. So your Twitter, it'll be, your notifications will be like 200 because somebody has liked it, or they decided to quote it or respond to it. It's annoying. So this way you can respond to someone's tweet and then tell Twitter, don't don't let me know if somebody is responding to it, because I don't want those notifications, because it's annoying, because you think it's somebody trying to talk to you, but they're responding to some old tweet that you did a few days ago.
Right.
So what this is they're saying, unmentioning yourself from a chat, you will see that your username is untagged from the original tweet and replies. Users won't be able to mention you again within the same reply chain. You'll no longer be notified about updates to the exchange, because all these things happen right now today. All those things happen. So because there's conversations coming in from everywhere based on how they see the tweet. Did they search for a hashtag? Do they follow that person? Do they follow the person of a person? Did they see, there's several ways for people to get your tweets.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody could reply something that you don't like, harassment, bullying, what. There is the block, but before the block, you got to get, you're notified. So you might not want to be a part of the conversation. You made a reply to the original tweet or reply, but you want to get out of the I'm done. I want to get out of the conversation. So that's what this unmentioned feature will do. So Twitter is saying, don't at me. How do you say don't at me without saying don't at me? So they're experimenting with unmentions, a way to help you protect your peace and remove yourself from conversations. So I like.
Okay.
I like that.
It's similar. Well, obviously, Twitter is a little more complex than Facebook, but it's similar to the like the remove tag feature.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Has.
Don't tag me, because you
Yeah,
get notified.
Yeah, and they start tagging you for stuff. You're like, why am I in here?
That too. That too.
The hell? Who asked you?
Who are you?
The thing. It's with any of those types of things. I think all of these things are necessary because not everyone has the discretion and discernment to determine who should be part of what conversations.
Right.
Now, I don't tag people unless I've gotten permission or like I've interviewed them or that type of thing, and I tell them, you know what, and I'll tag you so that you can see it. But I don't just arbitrarily tag people because I don't. I think it's almost invasive to do so. So the ability to remove yourself from a tag, I think, is crucial and critical when it comes to social media.
Right.
So
I agree. I good too. When I read this, I was like, good. Because I've had, conversations. I've responded to somebody and then it's like, well, I go in the notification. I was like, well, who are all these people? Why are you responding to me? I'm responding to, so now I could just take myself out of conversation and you guys can talk about it. I'll be out of it. So you're not tagged or, you get those notifications. So I like that. So I'm glad to see that Twitter's doing that. And we shall see what happens with
yes. Will this allow people to just come into the conversation, drop a bomb, and leave?
Right. And like Dr. Tati said, there's some people out there that don't respect the boundaries of a good conversation. And they come in and they want to throw a Molotov cocktail or whatever in and leave.
So they got no home training. Okay.
Right. And then you're stuck with then people who do have sense might respond to that person, and you're all tagged together. You're all chained together, and it's like, I don't want to be chained to that.
I didn't want to be on this ride.
I don't want to try to. It's annoying. I'm like, please move on. So I like that feature, and we'll see what Elon Musk's involvement or his being the largest shareholder. Let's see what comes of that. We'll see.
I'm going to do
May I
this.
add one more?
Yes.
So I was
Yes.
actually reading up on this and what basically articles about what Elon Musk's now majority shareholdership means for Twitter. And if you remember, I don't remember exactly what the thing was, but remember that he had spilled the beans about something on Twitter that he wasn't supposed to, and he got in trouble for that.
Yeah, there was something about the stock price tank.
It was stock.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's talk, and I don't think it's very likely, but there's talk about, okay, what will happen to his Twitter account? Could they ask him to relinquish his Twitter account? Because, he has hot fingers. That's probably not likely. But, there's
Hot fingers.
because now, before he makes he has to consult with people before he makes any kinds of statements like that on Twitter.
I agree.
To.
His lawyers, he got a hotline to the lawyers, or the lawyers have a hotline to him.
Exactly. Because that's problematic when you do things like that. But again, because apparently he doesn't have the discernment to know when and what he should say. What is that going to mean going forward now that he's a shareholder, he's involved in all these things? What is that going to mean for his personal account going forward? So there's all sorts of speculation on that.
Truly. I agree.
Thought about that.
Yeah, I agree.
And this holds true for anybody who holds majority in whatever their publicly traded company is. Okay, you need to watch your mouth now.
Yeah.
It affects the stock. Every time he says something about Tesla, stuff happens.
Yeah, there's consequences to whatever statement he puts out, unofficial or official, whatever he says, because it's like E.F. Hutton, everybody's listening to him. Like, what is he saying? So,
Cherry, you are so New York. The references you use, E.F. Hutton.
I'm sorry.
I remember that commercial.
Remember that E.F. Hutton?
It was memorable. It's a memorable commercial.
They very, very inventive commercials where they were in a restaurant in New York and everybody's talking, and then my broker E.F. Hutton says, and everybody stops, and then it's like, because so that just popped into my head, like that
was a very well done.
It was
piece of advertising. That was well done.
And look on YouTube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to YouTube. It's probably there.
Right, E.F. Hutton commercial.
It's probably there. So, so he's that kind of person. That
Okay, so for lack of a better word, he's an influencer.
Oh, he's a Uber influencer.
Right. So E.F. Hutton was an influencer too. So just different sort.
I'm sorry, don't think it just pops about whenever we're talking, things just pop in my head. I just say it. I'm like, okay, that. But all right, so let's move on to TikTok. TikTok has added a new background player option for live stream only. And I tested this one today too. So what happens is if you're following someone and they do a live and you go into their live, you have a new option called background player where you can, and I took a screenshot. Oh, I forgot to put it on the computer. Let me see. Let me bring it up real quick. So you have options that you can do a picture in picture, or you can do an audio only. And I took a screenshot today because I was so excited. I went in. Oh, yeah. So it says background player. You can do picture in picture option. Keep live videos playing in a floating window when you exit the app, or audio. Keep playing audio from live videos when you exit the app. And this is, if you use YouTube a lot, I do, you have to keep the YouTube app open. If you swipe away from it, the video shuts down. So this is the opposite of that in TikTok, and this is live stream only. It's not the videos that are on somebody's channel. Okay. It's live stream only that you can swipe away and do something else on your phone, and you can either listen only or you can have the picture in picture. I thought it was really cool. So I tested it out today. Wow. So that is the background player option. So the option enables you to keep a video playing in a floating window outside the app, or just keep the audio so you can listen to the conversation without having to watch the video. You can do something else. And
That's good.
This is only for live stream.
For live. So if you're watching a live stream,
yes,
I wonder if we can go live on.
I think that's another thing. I don't know if it's I have to check it out if it's by follower count or how many followers.
Or how you can if live is available to you.
Right. Oh, I just went into TikTok. Yeah, so I think when you have it, you'll see it. And I don't have it. So I think you might have to have a certain number of followers or
Well, this is gonna be interesting.
So I'll double check that. But that's for the live streaming. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now also TikTok has launched a university. TikTok has a university called Creative Agency Partnerships University. It's a program to help creative agencies become TikTok experts. It's a 5-week program, and it will teach people that enroll what they need to know about getting started on TikTok and how to use the platform to up their marketing game. So this is the quote. The goal of CAP, that's what they call it. The goal of CAP University is to inspire next level creative content on the world's fastest growing entertainment platform. After you complete the program, you will be able to lead conversations with your clients, concept and create for the platform, and continue driving your client's business forward. So this is for agencies, not for just, you have a TikTok account. This is for agencies.
Where you represent, you got clients and you're trying to build.
Yes, you're an agency. Right. So I thought that was pretty cool. CAP University. And not CAP like, the slang cat, which is something else. So it's CAP for Creative Agency Partnership. Okay. Let's move on to Instagram and Meta and Facebook, whatever they're calling themselves. Instagram creators are saying that Instagram is cutting Reels payouts. Creators are saying that creators that make money using Instagram Reels they're saying their payouts have been reduced significantly in the recent weeks, and Instagram has changed the target metrics for monetization. They're saying that the payments are down as much as 70% per view, and videos need millions more views for creators to get paid. Now, this is the Reels Play bonus program that came out in July that offers financial rewards to creators who post on Reels. Payouts range from $600 to as much as $35,000 if videos hit a target view count. But now the creators, if this doesn't come from Instagram, they're not saying anything. The people that receive the money saying that the money is being reduced. Now, Meta said that they were going to pay $1 billion to creators through 2022. They've obviously changed their mind, just like Snapchat. Remember we talked about them? They had a big payout. They were giving out.
Like, hold on.
Remember they were giving out millions of dollars a day, and they was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, we're giving out too much money. Let's change it to a week or whatever settings they changed it to." So now Instagram has gone down this route. So the creators are complaining because it wasn't explained.
They're not keeping their promise. That's why.
Right. And so this story comes from the Financial Times. So one creator told the Financial Times that the personalized threshold for getting paid up to $35,000 had gone from 58 million views to 359 million views. So that's the target this person had to hit. It went from 58 million views to 359 million views, was the metric that the person had to hit with the video.
To get to 650.
To get from the 600 to, and it's on a scale, so from 600 to 35,000. So now Instagram was like, okay, if we said you have to hit 50 million views on a video to get paid, now we're saying 350 million.
Okay, so that's bait and switch. So you done made all this content,
and it's 7 times as much. It's not just, it's significant.
That's why you need your own place. Okay.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, so Meta, so Financial Times reached out to Meta and they said that they were testing real bonuses on Instagram and Facebook, which may cause payouts to fluctuate as pricing models are refined. This is what, remember Snapchat did this, but Snapchat said what they were going to do. Snapchat said we're going to go from 1 million a day or whatever it was to 1 million a week or every two, whatever the metric was. They told the creators. They're not in this case. Instagram didn't say anything. So creators reached out to the Financial Times. Financial Times reached out to Meta, and then Meta said, "Oh yeah, we're testing the model, the pricing model. We're testing the pricing model."
Whatever that means.
That means
they're changing it up.
they're not paying you guys. They're not gonna pay
Mhm.
you guys. And then I'm gonna start for a second because I know Dr. Tachi is a part of this. That Mario Armstrong has his I can't remember the name of his course, but he's got a course talking about sponsorships, brand sponsorships, how to get more money and not this, the programs that they have for you to make money. He's talking about is it connecting directly with the brands, Dr. Tachi? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, going direct to brands to get sponsorship instead of gathering money through these platforms who could give two damns about you anyway.
Right. So here we go. Snapchat, Instagram, does TikTok? I think TikTok has some kind of bonus program. So look for that. But this is what Mario is saying, that instead of going this route, and I think he said something about instead of getting pennies this way, you go directly to the brands and get more dollars.
Right.
But you have to know how to formulate the pitch and all. He talks about all of that, so he's very knowledgeable about it. So if you're interested in, you want to do this brand sponsorship thing, just look for him, Mario Armstrong. He's everywhere. So I wanted to mention that because as you can see, and I did tell him send him this story, so he's probably going to do a video or something about it because he does that. He'll say, look, they're cutting the program, so you're not getting any money from here. So let me show you how to, X, Y, Z. So he's very knowledgeable about it, and I just thought I'd mention that. All right, so a few more from Facebook. So NFTs are coming to Facebook and Instagram. Also, Zuck Bucks are coming.
No.
Zuck Bucks. Now this is a big
suck. Okay, let's see.
Big. So let me get in. So this is also from the Financial Times. So some of this is from them. They said Meta has drawn up plans to include virtual coins, tokens, and lending services to the apps. Because they're looking, they're looking to expand their reach because teens aren't using their app. So they're saying that Zuckerberg is seeking alternative revenue streams and new features that can attract and retain users because their popularity is down. Facebook's financial arm, Meta Financial Technologies, has been exploring the creation of a virtual currency for the metaverse. Employees have called this Zuck Bucks, according to people that they've talked to. So Zuck Bucks. So they're saying that Meta is leaning towards in-app tokens that will be centrally controlled by the company, similar to those used in gaming apps like Roblox. Okay, Meta is looking into the creation of social tokens or reputation tokens, which could be issued as rewards for meaningful contributions in Facebook groups, for example. They also want to make creator coins that might be associated with influencers on Instagram. So nothing is planned. The company has held discussions with potential lending partners. So they're in the early stages of discussing it. Things could be changed or dropped. But their thing with NFTs, putting NFTs in the apps is more developed than this. So they're trying to do a bunch of stuff again.
Sounds to me like they trying to figure out how not to pay people. Here's some tokens, here's some rewards that I can't spend at the store. I need a check.
So here's a quote from Financial Times. They're saying that that they have a internal memo. Meta plans to launch a pilot for posting a share of NFTs on Facebook in mid-May. This will be quickly followed by testing of a feature that will allow membership of Facebook groups based off of NFT ownership, and another for minting. That the term minting is creating NFTs. NFTs may be monetized with fees and or ads in the future. and Facebook has declined to comment on all this, but this is another story from Financial Times. So they're trying a virtual currency for the metaverse. The employees call it Zuckbucks. They're also looking at NFTs to create and mint NFTs in order for you to join certain groups or monetization within groups or something like that. So those are the things that they're looking at. Meta.
Mm-hmm. Mira, what happened to that?
So Meta is they're just grabbing at everything. You know how they went to the buffet and they're just grabbing every NFTs, creator coins, skins. They're just grabbing all of it from the buffet of technology and putting it on their plate and confusing people. That look good. That look good, Facebook. So again, Facebook had their Lira coin or Libra coin or what?
Libra, that's what it was. And then I'm like, yeah, right. I'm still not trusting it. I will not give, people say, you can donate to this birthday thing and whatever. I'm not doing nothing through Facebook, but it has to do with money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm confused about? So how is this going to work? So they've got Zuckbucks. Mm-hmm. But is it, and maybe I missed you saying that, but is this something, when you buy crypto or whatever, you can add it to your wallet? Is this something that you would have to connect your wallet to in order for it to work?
Well, we don't have that much of a detail in it. It's just, because Facebook is declining to comment on all of this. This is from the Financial Times because they got some leaked internal memos and internal conversations among employees, and so this is the information they got. So it looks like they're trying to figure out how to facilitate in-app. This is what they're saying: how it can facilitate in-app transitions with its own internal digital currency. It would enable users to buy up virtual items inside of Facebook, the Facebook groups, or however they're setting it up.
So it sounds like Dave and Buster's, where you accumulate the tickets and you can go to the store and you gonna have to pay a whole bunch of tickets for that pencil.
Right.
Okay.
My opinion, I'm thinking Facebook is going to try to have us have a Facebook wallet for the metaverse and not have it connect to any other wallet that you have, because that sounds like Facebook's thing. Remember, Facebook world, they want you to stay in it. But we don't know what they're going to do. This is some internal memo leaking, and employees talking about Zuckbucks and what they're talking about secretly. So it came out, and Facebook has not made a statement at all.
They're probably a little tiffed that somebody
So they're saying most of the efforts are in the early stages of being discussed and could be changed or dropped. Mm-hmm. All of this could be changed or dropped, but they're looking at getting into the NFTs, making their own coins like Robux and all the stuff that's going on, but inside of their world. Remember, Facebook wants you inside of their world. They don't want to connect outside.
Right.
So if it's a crypto wallet, it's going to be Facebook's crypto wallet. Crazy. So this is a little peek inside the mind of Facebook world. All right, so one more from them and we're done. Okay, I lost it. Meta wants you to post reels from third-party apps. They're adding a new shared to reel option for third-party developers, so it'll make it easier for users of non-Meta apps to share their creations direct to Facebook Reels. So this update allows developers to add a Reels button to their app so users can post clips directly to Reels and while taking advantage of Reels editing tools. So this is more about third-party apps having the option to have a Reels button.
Okay, so technically, they want you to put your TikTok videos over there because you would probably get more. They would have more eyeballs on it over there. You know what I mean? Because you
Right.
created it. So
They're
let's
trying
let
to
them,
grow they're trying to grow their
right.
reels instead of from, and this is what they're saying. They're saying enabling sharing to reels makes it easy for people to share short form videos directly to Facebook. Once integrated, third-party apps will have a reels button so people can share short videos, then customize with real editing tools like audio, text effects, caption, and stick. So they want people to make content and then in another app and then they share it. So they're saying they have an integration with something called Shmule, Smule, Vita, Vita, and Viva Video. Each will now have share the reels buttons built in.
We used to share reels share stuff over there, and then they said no, you can't share your TikTok over here. They didn't want us to do that. Now
Right,
they're saying,
but they're not saying TikTok. They're saying because you can right now you can share a TikTok complete over to Reels, but it'll say TikTok. They're saying when you're creating the video, they want you to use these, and these are the three that they're working with now. So say you make the video in Viva Video, and then there's a share the Reels button, which it pushes it over to Instagram, opens the app, and then you can use all the tools inside of Instagram and then post it as a reel. That's what they're doing.
okay, but I'm not using Viva or whatever
Right.
or whatever.
It's three of them: Shmule, Vita, and Viva Video. So
you notice it ain't YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. Okay, no.
Some people use like InShot or CapCut or whatever to make their videos, and then they import in the TikTok or they import in the Reels. So, this is another thing where they're trying to get people to make more Reels instead of TikToks. That's all it is. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
And that is your social media update for the week.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Tachi.
Well, hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Let me just start off by saying, I know Terry knows, maybe some of you know, that this week I had the opportunity to go to NFT Con Miami, and it was great.
Yay.
Yes. So I actually reported from there. I was live, and I'm still working on getting up some of the videos. I did some lives. I did some stories. I have a lot of videos that I need to put up. And so anybody who's interested in learning not just about NFT Con Miami, but more about the NFT space, maybe you want to get into it, I have a few interviews that could be helpful. So check my feed for that. So thank you to NFT Con Miami for that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have a question. I saw something pop up. Were you the lead on an NFT conversation in Clubhouse this week?
Yeah, I was. They asked me yesterday because I go into the room NFTs.tips usually every morning, and so I've been adding my piece and speaking. I also I'm in a lot of like metaverse and NFT rooms that I go into, and then they'll call me up on stage. So I'll say my piece. So yesterday I was asked if I would be one of the panel for a conversation. I was like, if you think I have something useful to say, sure. But it ended up being really good because it was a conversation on how NFTs will shift things in Hollywood.
Nice.
So it ended up being a great conversation about what's happening now in Hollywood, how NFTs will do that. We even, talked some about the production and production getting cheaper and cheaper, and how NFTs are figuring into that. So it was a great conversation. So yeah, that was yesterday.
Okay. I don't know if it was recorded, but I saw it and I was like, man, I wish I can jump in that room. Okay.
Like you could listen to the replay. It was really good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that's my new passion, my newest passion, and I was happy to be part of that. So off of that, on to another space where they're probably going to talk about NFTs a lot. Today is the last day, if you want to use this free code I'm going to give you from Panasonic to register for the NAB show, which happens in Vegas, April 24th through 27th. Maybe you're planning on taking a trip out there. Maybe you have it like that. You can just drop and go. Maybe you live in LA and that's only like 4 hours away from Vegas and you can attend. You definitely want to be there. This is the largest show of media technology and entertainment in the world. So you'll get to see all the new cameras that are dropping. All you have to do is say Panasonic, Canon, etc. They're all going to be there. So you may want to check it out. You get a free NAB 2022 guest pass, and that gives you access to the show floor and all the different exhibits. There are also great sessions that happen on the show floor. You get to network with people. I mean, it's just amazing. Plus, it's Vegas. Who wouldn't want to be there? I, unfortunately, am not going to be able to go this year, but next year I'm there with bells on and buzzers going from all the cool technology. So here is the code. It is L as in lost, V as in victory, 4629. Capital L, capital V, 4629. And that gives you a free guest pass. So go ahead and get it today, because this is the last day for it. And after that, if you want this same pass, you'll have to pay $50 for it. So register while you can. And that's courtesy of Panasonic. Thank you, Panasonic. Yes. So off of that, and if you can't remember and you want me to repeat it again, no problem. Let's go to surprise, surprise, streaming overload. I don't know why I'm saying that. Streaming overload. Viewers feel overwhelmed by too many choices, according to a Nielsen survey. Who the hell is surprised by this? We know we're all overwhelmed by choices. So almost half of streaming users in the United States said that they feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of programming on streaming services. But nobody is saying they're going to cut back. Oh my God, that's so good. But are you going to cut back? No, we're not. So I think that's why people are not worried. These streamers are not worried. So this is actually the key finding from Nielsen's report on the state of streaming, and it's called the State of Play. And if you're interested in that, you can go to Nielsen.com and look for that report on their website. It's called State of Play, and it uses data from their TV and streaming ratings, insights from Nielsen's Grace Note content recognition service, and the survey of streaming users that gives us a snapshot of where things are in terms of streaming. So 46% of streaming consumers feel overwhelmed by the ever-increasing number of platforms and titles available to them. And that can make it tougher to find specific titles in a specific place, right?
Yep.
And so no wonder, because as of February, per Nielsen, there are 817,000 unique program titles, that's series, movies, specials, and other programming available via streaming services. That's an increase of about 26.5%, or 171,000 titles since the end of 2019. Now, we know why that is, right? Because what happened after the end of 2019?
We was all up in the house.
Exactly. So people were trying to provide content to satiate us. So of course there's going to be a raise or a rise in the amount of content. So that's still, even without that 171,000, that brings us to about like 600 and something thousand. That's still a lot of titles to sift through, but it doesn't show any signs of letting up. So viewers have no plans to slow down. 93% of the respondents to the Nielsen survey said they plan to keep the paid streaming services that they have or add more over the next year. So why are you overwhelmed? Anyway, you did it to yourself, right? So this is what the Senior VP of Product Strategy at Nielsen has to say. We've entered the next phase of streaming based on the trends we've been detailing about streaming over the past few years. We've moved from infancy into adolescence and all the complexities that one would expect at that point. It's not that streaming is increasing it's not just that streaming is increasing year over year. Now consumers want access simplified, and the explosion of services has renewed discussions around bundling and aggregation. So ultimately, this signals the opportunity for long-term business growth, they say. All right, well, we're overwhelmed, but we're not slowing down.
No, we're not.
No. Moving on. let's move to NAB. Speaking of NAB, they actually are applauding. Now, if you don't know, NAB has this large show, but they are also like a lobbying, a regulation lobbying arm that advocates for the broadcast industry on the Hill. To Congress, etc. So they're applauding the House passing of legislation to protect journalists. It's called the Press Act, PRESS in all caps, and that would establish protections for reporters at the federal level against having to reveal their confidential sources, except in cases of national security. So PRESS stands for Protect Reporters from Exploitive State Spying Act. And it was passed, as I said, by the House Judiciary Committee, or passed by the House, rather. And so it protects you as a journalist because there's these things. There's often this pressure that you need to reveal confidential sources. Well, now you don't have to unless it's a case of national security. Hopefully this passes the Senate too. Right now the House has passed it. And NAB President Curtis LeGage says this: NAB applauds the House Judiciary Committee for its bipartisan passage of the Press Act, legislation that will protect journalists' right to legally, openly, and fearlessly report the news. Embracing the right of a free press to report the news without fear or favor, journalists rely on confidential sources to shine a light on the wrongdoing in government, expose waste of taxpayers' dollars, and hold our elected officials accountable. So I think this is really important because this is the way that you can speak truth to power, and by protecting them, journalists can continue to speak truth to power.
Okay. Now, who defines national security?
Terry, do not open that worm.
That's a good question. That is a rabbit hole question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Specifically, who is tasked with determining what is a case of national security? Obviously, okay. I'm guessing that's Congress and the president. I don't know for sure who it is. Somebody who is a government scholar, please let me know, because I don't. Plus, I don't really report on the government. That's not my beat when I report on media, tech, and pop culture. So let me know if anybody knows. All right. Any other comments?
Not on that one.
Well, let me move on to some things really quickly because I know we don't have much time left, but let me move on really quickly to some things that we talked about on Media Scope. Well, Monique and Lee Daniels have patched it up. They hadn't spoken in 13 years, not since Precious came out in 2009, and Monique won Best Supporting Actress for her role as the terrible mama.
Uh-huh.
By the way, both the book and the movie are very traumatizing, but the book more so. So just letting you know that.
Wow.
So, yeah. So anyway, Monique and Lee Daniels have patched it up. She's going to replace Octavia Spencer in Netflix's thriller Demon House. How nice. It's a nice title for a film. So Demon House is an exorcism film package. Apparently, that makes sense. So Demon House is about a social worker. She's going to play the role of a social worker who helps a family through a series of exorcisms. This to me doesn't sound like something I want to watch, but maybe somebody is into that, into poltergeist type stuff.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So anyway, this is what's coming up. And apparently he has apologized to her for, I guess, his role in whatever this is. So let's go back over what happened. So if you remember, she accused Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry of blackballing her because she would not promote the film during award season. That's Precious. So she said it wasn't in her contract, and Monique didn't want to spend time away from her family. But all three of them had denied blackballing her. But, you know, she didn't speak apparently to any of them, I guess, for 13 years because of this disagreement. And separately, she filed a lawsuit in 2019 against Netflix. I think we remember that, charging them with racial and gender discrimination for trying to underpay her for a stand-up special after offering other stars tens of millions of dollars. They offered her $500,000 for an hour-long comedy special, which to us would be like, oh, I'll take $500,000 per hour, but not when you look at it compared to other comedians that Netflix had offered more, I suppose. So, and that's also when she called for the boycott. So she's had a lot of stuff going on these past few years. She hasn't really been on the scene as much except under controversy. So this is going to be her first role back.
In Demon House.
In Demon House. Isn't that nice?
Okay.
I would not personally want that to be my first role back.
Okay.
But who am I? You know, do you, Monique? So good for you. But I think the key point is that apparently Monique and Lee Daniels have squashed. And he said that he apologizes for any hurt that he may have caused her. Sometimes you just have to move past these things because, look, Hollywood is small. We watch it and we think, oh, there's so many people. No, it's very small. There are very small numbers and even smaller when it comes to people of color, okay? So unless something has been done so egregious, you need to kind of have that ally done. You need folks in Hollywood. So it's to your advantage to patch these things up, especially if they can be. So,
right.
Good for you too. All right. Speaking of, no, not speaking of, this is on another plane on its damn own. Kanye West has bailed on Coachella. They now have less than a week and a half to find someone to headline. Now, I don't know if this came through what they were working on trying to get the Weeknd. I need to see whether or not that has happened. But he's bailed on, Kanye bailed on Coachella. He was supposed to have headlined both of the two weekends, which is April 17th and April 24th.
Wow.
Later this month. Right. So that's basically like a week and a half to do that. Additionally, Travis Scott was supposed to join him on stage. By the way, Kanye is now known as Ye, but just like Biggie Smalls.
Thank you, because I did not know that.
Okay, yes. Just like I still call Biggie Smalls, just like I still call P. Diddy Puff, because that's what we all call him, you are still Kanye. So, but Travis Scott is not performing either now. And I don't know that anybody is missing that, but that's just me.
He got a lot of cleanup to do on his reputation. So
absolutely, you shouldn't be trying to jump on anybody's stage. You think we forgot? We do have short memories, though. So anyway, so as I said, they according to the LA Times, they're trying to get the Weeknd as a replacement, and I find that an interesting choice. Not that they are not equally yoked, but they're two different types of performers. So Ye, as he likes to be called, or Kanye, has this almost larger than life persona that invites controversy wherever he goes. The Weeknd is not really that type of performer. Still great, but not that type of performer. So I find it an interesting choice. Exactly.
Things that make you go.
Exactly. So, but let me tell you why.
Okay.
What else happened? So he threatened to pull out earlier this year. So they booked him earlier this year. He threatened to pull out after Billie Eilish did not apologize to Travis Scott for something she never said. So apparently, she never said what he thinks she said and was saying, you need to apologize. She's like, no. And so he threatened to pull out of Coachella. So for that, Coachella, I blame you. When you see that he's pulling these reindeer games and rubbish shenanigans early, why would you not have somebody on standby? Why would you then? I don't understand why they invited him. I do. But because he's so volatile, you needed to have somebody else on speed dial.
Mm, mm, mm.
He had already threatened to be out, so there should have been somebody on the speed dial.
Exactly. So I don't feel sorry for you that now, less than a week and a half, you don't have anybody as your headliner, and I hope you do by now. But that's your fault. Earlier this year, he threatened this. You think he's like, oh no, he's good now. Well, now you've learned your lesson. And here's the thing: with a festival like Coachella, it's a huge festival. It's a 2-weekend festival. It draws so many people to that place in the desert. I've never had the desire to go because I'm like, no, that's not for me. But it's a cool thing, you know. But it draws millions in sponsorship, draws hundreds of thousands of people there. It means so much for the city and surrounding cities. That's a huge financial money maker. So when you start playing around with, oh, I can't come, there's a lot of money on the line. So that's why you as a festival need to be prepared with your plan B. Now, that doesn't mean nobody else is coming. There are a lot of they already have other headliners. It's Harry Styles is the other festival's headliner. Billie Eilish. There are a lot of people that are going to be there. So, but, you know, Kanye obviously was a big draw. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've learned your lesson.
My question is this. Does that mean that if your headliner is not coming, you can get a refund?
Good question. I don't know what the probably not. I bet you that there is language on Live Nation, wherever you buy Coachella tickets, that precludes you from getting a refund if your headliner is not coming. Now, if they had to cancel the festival, yes, you could get your money back. But you probably are not going to be able to get your money back because one of the headliners didn't come. Because it's a festival.
Right.
They could allege there are other things that you could see. So there's probably very specific language that precludes that from happening. Believe me. So anyway, so you know what? It's 12:56 for me, and then 9:56 for you all. I'm done.
Oh, well, this was good info. Thank you very much, Dr. Tachi.
Well, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do about my Coachella ticket, though.
The fact that you're going to Coachella is awesome.
Yes. Out there in the desert.
But yay could be yay is a nay.
Using porta potties. That was the biggest reason I would never want to go.
No.
It's kind of okay because this is like Woodstock 21st century Woodstock, pretty much.
Right. Every year. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool festival. Here's what I do. How I do watch. I watch. There are 3 or 4 Coachella channels.
Yes.
On
YouTube.
You can watch to your heart's desire on
YouTube
without having to be in the hot desert, be up against people who are probably COVID-y, or be
COVID-y.
And you have your own bathroom. You got air conditioning.
Yeah. Your snacks. You got
your lemonade or whatever. Yes.
Popcorn in this kitchen.
Whatever you want. So I will be watching. I watch Coachella every year. I think it's so awesome to have that type of communing of people in the middle of the desert. I just don't want to be in the middle of the desert communing with them.
No.
I'll watch you on TV. No worries.
No. When you're younger, that has a lot of appeal, and you're going with a bunch of your friends. It's like, yeah, woo, that has appeal. But now I'm like, no.
I'm good.
No, that's the thing. Exactly. When you're younger, you kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it's cool. But now I need an assigned seat.
I need to be comfortable. I need to have facilities.
So
I've never been a camper, so I can't even relate to that at any age. I gotta have 4 stars and up. I can't do it. It's gotta have.
You know what? And this is the last thing I'll end with. It's like, you start to, as you get older, you start to realize what you will not put up with.
Yeah, your comfort level. Your comfort level.
But remember back in the day, I mean, now all these, Gen Z and whatever, they're all bougie. But remember back in the day, you would stay anywhere and it would be like whatever. So
Anywhere.
I was
We'll see.
the last, what was it, in 2012, I think I went to Vegas for NAB. So I was being cheap, right? And I said, you know what? I have this, this code to use for, I can't remember which, like an Econo Lodge or something like that. I said, I have this code that comes with part of our alumni thing. I'm just going to stay there. And it was super cheap. It was like $50 a day or something. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. However, this is how I learned my lesson. Because I'm very sensitive. Like I can sense when something or somebody is looking at me. So my back was turned to the bathroom, but I had the sense that something was looking at me. I said, it was the biggest roach you ever saw.
Oh, see,
Oh.
I'm out.
On the bathroom floor. And I sensed something was looking at me. I sat up real quick. I said, this is the last time I'm being cheap with that. Because I'm grown. I should know better. But no, I'm trying to play these college games and be cheap. That's what I get. I said, no, now I deserve 4 stars and above. I will shell out for it. I'm not doing that again. So you learn what you can put up with as you get older.
Yeah, because that's not good. No bugs.
And my quick story is when you're younger, spring break, Florida, and a whole bunch of girls in one room. Because we're going to spring break. Yay!
No.
That's what you do when you're young. You're like, yo, we're going to put 50 people in this one room. But we're going to Florida. We're going to spring break.
And did you all used to separate the beds and some people will sleep on the box spring and
Yep.
sleep on
the floor. Yep. We're all going.
Everybody
one room.
Look at one room, yes.
Bless
and
you.
it's fine, but now I'm like,
now
I barely want to sleep with one of you in a room.
I gotta have my own room.
I need my own.
Too many people in here. I'm sucking up the oxygen. No, I gotta have one person, me, in here. But that's one of the things we're talking about Coachella and going there and all of that, or any of those festivals. That's when you're young. It's like it's cool and it sounds like a great. And we're gonna have a bunch of fun. And who cares? Everybody get in the car and everybody get in the room, and we'll just figure it out as we go along. But
I haven't done a concert since I went to see the Jackson 5 in the Cow Palace in San Francisco, and them girls are screaming. I'm trying to listen to music and they scream. I'm like, no. Okay,
you couldn't hear the music. Girl is screaming.
Never about that life.
Nope.
You were never about that life. It's an experience. It definitely is an experience. So
it's a thing you do once or twice and that's it. And you grow up.
You're good after that.
Yeah, you grow up and you're like, I did that.
Exactly. Even though I don't even like to, how people like road trip. I'm like, I'll meet you there. Where's my flight number?
I'm in, Dr. Tachi.
Well, I had so many road trips, tons. But now it's like the road. No, can I zap myself there? I don't want to do the road. But those are the things when you're young, it's like road trip, we're going to the beach, you just pile it right in the car and just go. But now it's like, okay, there's so many things because your comfort level is different.
You get smarter.
Your comfort level.
As you mature, you just get smarter. Like, no, this is not working.
No, I gotta have my own bed, my own pillow. I gotta have
you have more resources. Let's just be real about it. And you don't need a permission slip from your parents. you wasn't supposed to be in Florida. Anyway.
But I went. We went.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for this week in tech, our Tech Life Weekly. It's all made possible by everybody who's watching and listening, and we want to say thank you for doing that. We also want to give you an opportunity to join BizChicks. It costs you just signing up. Our community is fun, and we can hear from experts in media like Dr. Tachi, experts in social media like TJ, and then we have other people who can help you with your money issues, people who can help keep us healthy, and we're here for all of you. We want to promote you and promote what it is that you're doing. So you can join bizchicks.net. Just go right on over there, type in bizchicks.net, join the community. We are testing out a community platform. We think you're going to like it. And then let's go hang out over there. Just type it in, bizchicks.net. And we'll keep you up to date on what we've got going on. You can post what you have going on over there on the calendar, and and you can talk to people and communicate and get help when you need it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for all you've contributed today. Thank you, Dr. Tachi, over there in the clubhouse. We just appreciate you. Thank you, TJ. We've got Florida and New York City and California. Thank you so much, Fran, for all that you've done today. And for those of you who are watching live and on the replay, we just want to say thanks again for stopping by. And we'll see you Monday. We want you to know that it's okay to be successful in your business and to go to the front of your own line. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.